Happy Friday and welcome back. Another busy week as our team worked to stop some bad bills that were introduced this week and to keep our momentum on our top legislative priority, Senate Bill 166, 2024, Building Code Regulatory Reform. The bill took a big step this week as it cleared a number of hurdles. On Monday afternoon, the bill was noticed to be heard in the House Finance Committee. Throughout Tuesday, Representative Brody and representatives from our association worked with representatives from the League of Municipalities and the Office of State Fire Marshal to improve provisions that makes their respective camps more comfortable with this legislation. The bill moved through the House Finance Committee on Wednesday morning, and on Wednesday afternoon, Representative Brody presented the legislation on the floor, and after comments from two opponents to the bill passed the House in bipartisan fashion, 72 to 34, and was sent to the Senate for concurrence. We will now work with Senator Steve Jarvis and Joyce Kravick in an effort to move the bill on the Senate floor next week. Another bill that we're following is House Bill 198, DOT Legislative Changes, which is a bill sought by the Department of Transportation. This bill passed the House last year and is now being considered in the Senate. One provision in particular caused us great concern. DOT sought the authority to determine and assess fees for all programs that issue permits. This would include many which our industry utilizes, like driveway permits, subdivisions, traffic impact analysis, and encroachment reviews. Many of these services are provided now by DOT without a fee, and those that have fees are minimal. For example, the current driveway permit fee is $50. While there may be a need to impose reasonable fees for better service, we're concerned about giving DOT unfettered discretion to set any fee like that. We expressed our concerns to Senate leadership, and we are pleased to see the Senate Transportation Committee turn this provision into a study to report back any recommendations prior to the next year's long session. A bad industry bill was introduced this week. House Bill 1065/Senate Bill 904, their companion bills, Garner Community Facilities Impact Fees, was introduced in both chambers. This would allow the town of Garner to impose impact fees for fire stations, police stations, cultural facilities, solid waste collection, solid waste handling. While our state has a few jurisdictions which have obtained impact fees over the years, NCHBA has successfully stopped those attempts in the last 35 years. Impact fees pose the most serious threat to housing affordability and would simply knock thousands of people out of the market for home ownership. We will continue to work with bill sponsors to let them know how detrimental impact fees are on the housing affordability and work with the Senate and House leadership to ensure this bill and similar bills do not move forward. A few other bills that we're monitoring were introduced this week. That's House Bill 1063, City of Southport Tree Ordinances. This would limit the tree ordinances to simply the corporate limits of Southport. Another bill that we're watching that was introduced this week is House Bill 1064, City of Southport, remove ETJ authority. That would limit the ETJ authority altogether in Southport. And finally, House Bill 1070, Property Rights Protections. This would address the big new item dealing with squatting in properties. This bill would provide great protections for property owners. This effort will head off what we're seeing in other states. Of important note, we will be having our legislative reception on June 4th at the same location as last year, the Miriam Wynn House in downtown Raleigh. Followed by on June 5th, we will have our legislative visit. So be sure to sign up for those. They're very helpful with our relationship with legislators, and they want to hear from their folks back at home. Now let me introduce you to our Legislator of the Week. We're here with Senator Jarvis, who many of you know from our previous recognitions as our Legislator of the Week. We're excited to be working with him this year on our Building Code Reg Reform efforts. He's going to help us carry this bill through the Senate. That bill actually passed today, so it'll be coming over to you here shortly. You've been a wonderful advocate for the construction industry, both on the commercial side and residential side, for a long time, and we'd like to thank you for all your efforts on those. You've taken some heat at times, but you understand this better than anyone, and we'd like to thank you for all your efforts.
Well, thank you, Stephen. It's something that's always a privilege to get to work together to roll back regulations and to take care of over-regulation We don't want to ever have the housing industry to a point to where we cannot get houses at a decent cost. And there's so many over regulations that the more we can pull back, the better off we are.
Absolutely.
And I'm just always glad to try to help anytime we can and work to do what's best for the entire state of North Carolina.
Yeah, the journey never ends, so I'm sorry we have to keep coming back to you, but you know how it is, new problems all the time. But
It's a great bill. We pre-conferenced it, and I feel real good about it.
awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Jarvis. We look forward to working with you over the next couple weeks. For more information, please read our written legislative report. See you next week.